Good morning. So we've got a '07 Taurus, and when she drives it, there's a squeal. So this pulley, I don't know how good you can see this, but it's not supposed to move. Took the belt off, and with it running, this was vibrating a lot. So I took the belt off just to verify, but yeah, the bearings are shot in the power steering pump. So we're going to take it off. The hardest part is going to be getting this pulley off with a pulley puller, hopefully without disassembling the rest of the stuff, because everybody else usually takes the alternator and the coolant reservoir and everything off. My pulley puller's kind of small, and I think I can get it in there and just crank the pulley off, because the pump is held on by these 3 bolts down here. There's 1, 2, and 3, but they're behind the pulley, so the pulley has to come off first. So let's get to it. Okay, so as always with most mechanical work, first thing you're going to do is disconnect your battery. And that will prevent you from shocking yourself. I don't think what I'm doing will cause any issue, but as always, better safe than sorry. Alright, so this does have to come out. This hose down here at the bottom, this one down there, is in the way because the pulley puller has to fit on here, and it's about this long. So I'm gonna have to take that hose off to get it out of the way, and probably disconnect this, which is going to the headlight. Alright, got this one off. They don't give you much room. Okay, got it loose. So now we just wiggle it, pulling out, and it'll slowly back off.
Grace, your only option if you don't help Dad is to go in your room and watch TV.
There it goes. Alright, so now we've got the coolant reservoir out of the way. I went ahead and disconnected the light, and I just pinned it down here because I need the room straight out here. So, and then that other hose I just kind of tucked up under here. So this should give me enough room that I can get the pulley puller, which will attach there. I don't know how well you can see that. And then we'll crank off the pulley. Alright, so because I don't have my camera stand won't fit where it needs to show you this entirely, what happens is if you've got a piece like this that goes around here, and then this fits inside, and then make sure they're both facing the same way. So your pulley will be here, around the pulley, and then this slides over to keep them tight against that pulley. Okay, and then you crank on it and it'll pull the pulley off. So I'm going to get this assembled, and then we'll start pulling it off. Alright, so it's on there. So this just kind of keeps them from falling off. And then this is the nut that you crank on. And then you need something to hold this from turning back. So as you crank this one out, if this one's not moving, it'll pull the pulley off. And it'll take quite a bit of force. Alright, pulley's off. Yeah. Now we've got 3 15mm bolts that we gotta pull. 3
million?
Yeah, no, just 3. And they're right here.
Well, you said 3 million.
No, I said 3 15mm.
3.
I'm just gonna loosen them for now because we got to take out the connections to the pump before we take it all the way off. Alright, and just so you guys can see, I can actually wiggle this shaft, which isn't supposed to happen. So that's where the squealing's coming from. Definitely not supposed to do that. Let me give you a closer look. You can see how much that actually moves. It's not supposed to do that. Okay, so that one right there, it's an 18. It's not stupid tight, and 19 should fit. But you just need to back this one out. Don't worry about stripping it or anything. We just need to make sure that this comes out without moving this. So this one's just got to come off. And it might get messy. You can also drain the pump. Maybe take a turkey baster and pull all the fluid out first before you make a mess. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'll probably drain it. Alright, take the top off. Just squish out what you can, and I'm just using this old I don't care about bucket. This will keep at least most of it from going on the ground. Kind of like my driveway. So I'll get this evacuated, get that off, and then there's one more hose on the bottom. Yay, pump is out. So it's only got one connection on the bottom, and then this one that threads in. So let's go get a new pump, because this one is definitely shot, like the bearings inside, like this shouldn't move at all. Alright, we got our new parts. Got the new pump. Have to reuse the pulley. I got a new belt because the other one's cracking and got a hole in it. And power steering fluid. Oh, and you have to reuse the cap off the old pump. So now we get to put it back together. Alright, first thing we're going to do, make sure you can see this, is we're going to take, just set it here for now, take this off the bottom, this little plug, and then I'm going to take the hose from down below that I have pinched off. I'm going to unclamp it and fit it over that fitting. Come on. So I'm holding it with one hand, kind of worming it where it needs to go. And then I'm going to slide that fitting over the end. And then move the clamp back where it needs to go. Come on. Okay, so now it's on there. And we'll kind of line it up. Put our bolts back because we need it mounted before we crack this open. And it helps if I don't drop bolts. So these are our 3. Just get these started so it doesn't flop all over. There's one. You don't want to take this off until you're ready to fill it, because the pump comes with fluid in it. Alright, so I've got them started. Let me get them cranked down and I'll be right back. Alright, so on here, right here, there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little black seal that you have to put on, and then this is a Teflon seal that you just kind of work over the edge. This is kind of like thread tape, so I'm probably going to go ahead and put some more thread tape around it, because this is the high pressure side. And then I went ahead and took the cap off, the little red cap. And then we need to, I'll put some thread tape around that and crank that in. Alright, let's get ready to put a pulley back on. So let's see if this is the right size first off. This screws into the shaft. Washer, and I know you're supposed to put the pulley on first, but I want to just see how much travel I've got. So the question is, as I tighten this up, will this be enough to get it flush? Yep. And as you do this, that will push the pulley on. Alright, so let's back this off. And this part come out. Pulley there. Let's start getting this back. Alright, so now we gotta start cranking on it. So I need my 1/2 inch and my 3/4. Be right back. Alright, so I've got 1/2 inch on the end, 13/16, and then we are just gonna slowly, because this is in the way, do it like 1 or 2 teeth at a time. Alright, it's back in. Pulley's back on. It's flush. That's where you want it. So now we're going to get the belt back on and then put the reservoir back. Alright, reservoir is back on. Make sure you do all 3 of the clamps. Make sure they're tight. I'm going to add a little bit of water to that just because the tank, is empty. Went ahead and filled up the power steering fluid. So we're just going to keep that closed. I'll get a little water in here and then I'll start the car. Alright, we got her running. Got her running. Everything looks good. Not leaking. I did overfill it, so I had to wipe it all down, but it is not leaking. And it is full and vacuum, so we are good to go. No more squeal. Wrapping this one up.